On my last adventure, we struck the absolute motherlode of gold nuggets. Over 2 ounces of some of Tasmania's finest. It was found in a remote part of Tasmania's western wilderness. But it certainly didn't come easy. After 2 extremely challenging days, we secured a few nice pieces of gold, and we made an incredible discovery finding an old river sluice that the miners had chipped into the bedrock of the creek itself.
And then as Levi came up and we were having lunch, you wouldn't believe it, check this out. We just totally walked into this, and that's a old timers ground sluice.
It was an area that they'd focused their time and efforts to find the good gold. Unfortunately for us, they did a pretty good job, and we retreated back to camp pretty beaten up and ready to retire. But with one more remaining day, we hit the main river below, and that's when the magic happened. And what we discovered was incredible. I've been prospecting for 7 years now, but I've never come across anything quite like this. A giant crevice in the riverbed that gave up over 1 ounce of alluvial gold nuggets. It was an absolute rush while it lasted, but the day ran short and it was time to head back to reality and make the trek home. The exciting part is that the crevice is only halfway worked, and I'm now on the return trip to see what else we can extract. The water was just deep enough that I was holding my breath, so I'll be making the brutal effort of carrying in my electric dive compressor to make light work of the remaining ground. If I can get back in and the water levels are right, we'll be sure to have another incredible journey. Bit of an overcast day today, a few showers about, hoping I don't get too wet on the drop in. Got the burnt country we've got to push through before we get down to the river, hence the black shirt. It sort of keeps the charcoal off a bit. It's a pretty good bush to go through up on the ridge here, nice and open. I'm only here for the day, so I haven't got a lot of time. I've got to make the most of it. But yeah, we're on school holidays at the moment, so kind of need it at home a bit more this time of year. Right, it gets pretty steep through this section. I'm just about to drop into the river. It's a little bit vertical in spots. So messy too, which makes it difficult, but at least there's things to hold on to. You got to pick your trees, pull on the dead ones, and you fall down with them, especially coming uphill. Yeah, it's real steep. You can see the ore that's breaking away from the side of the hill. It's kind of like a slate with quartz stringers all through it. That's where it gets real steep. Alright, the fire ends just down here and we're into the rainforest. Doesn't quite make its way down to the river. There we go. See where I worked with Nick last time I was here. These are the rock stackings he was putting up when he got targets with the 6000. Water's kind of nice. Pull me down a bit. So this is the crevice, which started down there in the depths Nick had a little target just up on the ledge here that was a little bit of gold in a hairline crack, and just by chance it led me to this crevice down underneath. Now I know in the winter one year I tried to work it from the other side. This is a huge big ledge running through here, and good gold was found all up in the front of this pool. Because of the high flow in winter, I just could not get down and work the crevice. So I was pretty lucky that Nick got that target, because it reminded me that this was here. And in all honesty, I didn't know that there was going to be that much gold, although looking at it I probably should have known. I just had to go and dig some of my tools and my weight belts out of the bush where I've had them hidden. But yeah, they're getting pretty dirty and yucky looking. Still do the trick. And my trusty big shovel. How's the handle going? Starting to feel the effects of the weather. And of course my trusty crevice tool, Tiger stainless steel. I couldn't be anywhere without this thing. They have scored me ounces and ounces of gold. The channel's grown significantly the last few months, and quite a few people ask where they can get this. These are made by Tiger Stainless Steel, locally owned business up in Brisbane, a guy named Jono and his wife Kylie. You can get a little discount if you use the link in my description. So yeah, if you're after one of these Tiger Claws, they're the best darn tool I've got in my arsenal. So jump on there, get on that link and get yourself a bit of a discount. Now I've got my compressor today, I've carried it in. It will make light work of this crevice. I was having to hold my breath once again, and it was taking far too long, so I'm glad I've got this today. We should be able to get it all done fairly quickly, and then if there's any time left and we've got some battery left, we'll go and find another deep pool and just finish off. I think there might be one just downstream that I haven't really done, so see how we get on. As soon as I hit the water, I immediately knew there was a good amount of good ground left. I'd probably worked until about the halfway point, and with almost 2 ounces already pulled from this crevice, there was sure to be more. When you leave ground half work and return later, a lot of the loose material finds its way back into the crevice, and it can be tricky working out where you finished last time, but the sign is usually the loose material. Once removed, you hit the tight packed rocks, and you know that the ground's been untouched. Okay, there's still a heap of gold in there. I've just cleaned out the crevice, the gravels that were sitting over the top when I left, and literally the next section's just got like 2 or 3 little nuggets, or good sized pickers at least. It was another bonanza down there. The concentration of gold in this crevice is up there with some of the best that I've ever seen, and the anticipation to see what would come next was intense.
Yeah, that's a nice way to start the day. I've been in the water for probably 5 minutes. Unreal. First one. Let's get the rest of it. There's more down there. Every little inch of this crevice, well, it was the same last time when Nick was here. Just little nuggets all scattered along. Every little section of gravel that I clean out, there's good gold underneath.
The colour of the bedrock makes the gold hard to see, but hopefully you guys can see what I'm talking about.
Let's go up down there. Let's go easy.
I often wonder just how long these pieces of gold have been trapped away. Getting these shots with the camera almost felt impossible. Trying to squeeze the camera down between the crevice and operate the snuffer bottle was challenging to say the least, so my apologies for the shaky footage.
It's just one after the other of little pickers like this. I've been sucking up flakes as well, but I haven't even bothered to film that because the crevice is very difficult and narrow to film in. But yeah, lots of little bits like this.
It's such a good feeling when you know that the ground you're about to work is almost certain to hold gold. It's the excitement of not knowing what could be next. It's a rush like no other, and even after 7 years of doing this, it still gets me every time.
The crevice is starting to raise up a little bit, and I started thinking that perhaps the gold was going to slow, but then just scratched out a little bit more, and a really nice nugget's just shown up. That's a cool looking bit. It's strange looking. Woo. Looks like one of those aliens off the Alien movie. Weird looking thing. I'm not going to say what else it kind of looks like. Oh, so good. Having so much fun. Woo. Let's hope it continues to use craft.
It was a difficult crevice, this one, about 3 to 4 foot of gravel before reaching the base below, and although it looks like a constant flow of gold, there's quite a bit of time that goes in between before you can open up that giant treasure chest. Stop for a bit of a break, or not really a break, but I've got to do something about the clarity of the water. So as you can see, the flow's running down on this left hand side, and I'm now working down under the log down in there, and I'm going to be pushing across into this eddy over here. The crevice continues. I'm still seeing good gold, but I'm going to have to do something about the flow, so I'm going to make a little bit of a rock wall just up in here and try and divert some of this flow down through the other side. good to have some flow back. Although it wasn't much, it was enough to get the job done, and it was worth every minute spent to make it possible. So it's not much, but there is a little bit of flow just pushing down that side. We've got two little trails now, one down there and then a slower path running back there, and you can see that it's cleared out. I'd love it if I could move this log, but I don't think I've got a chance. It runs right back. Huge big thing, stuck in the gravel too. I literally just started digging gravels on the other side of this log. You can see it just here, and as soon as I got down behind the ledge, have a look. It's not too often you see gold sitting so high up on the bedrock, but a small quartz stringer was enough to capture this nugget. There's a nice little picker stuck in a quartz vein. There were in fact 3 or 4 pieces of gold, and the little picker was caught alongside. Awesome little bit of gold. Nice little picker. It's a cool little piece. Oh, nearly dropped it. At this point, the gold had proved chunky, but I hadn't found any multi-gram pieces like the previous trip, at least not so far, but it did seem like they were getting slightly bigger. I've worked down under the front of the log, and there's some pretty good gold showing up. Piece by piece, little by little, I strategically opened up this crevice, and surely amongst all this gold, something bigger was about to be found. Thought that was a nugget, but I think it's just a bit of slate. It wasn't moving when I was fanning. That one tricked me, but it wasn't too long, and I found what I was looking for. It wasn't massive, but it was more consistent with the gold found previously, and after all the work involved getting to this point, it was a welcome sight. Yeah, nice nugget. That's a good 3 or 4 grams, that one. Nice chunk. Woo! Well, that was fun, but that crevice is now done. It turned out that once I got past this log into about here, it was just as I remembered. I had worked down in there in the winter, and yeah, all that material had been worked in that end of it, but there was a lot of flow coming down through here in the middle of winter when I worked on this side, and I just couldn't keep my ground. It was deep. You can see that it's quite deep there, and I was just getting blasted away. And I don't think I really got that much on that side from memory. So it's interesting because I never remembered to try over here when the flow was lower. It was only by chance when Nick got that little piece high up on the bedrock over here that it led me to dig down deeper on the other side. That crevice, I don't know, it feels like I've got another ounce today maybe. There was quite a few little chunky nuggets and I didn't film a lot of the fines that I got, so there's some pretty good gold there. It's about 2:30, so I've got a little bit of time. I might use the battery on the compressor around the corner and we'll do a deeper pull back around the corner and see if that's got anything in it. I might see how we've done. We'll have a bit of a look before we head down. Yeah, it felt like a pretty good run. I was on the gold the whole time. It's a shame that it dried up, but it always does. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I reckon there is close to an ounce there, maybe 25. A few of the bigger nuggets. I better get to it just in case that other pool's got a heap in it. I forgot my gloves. Gang rabbit. Towel. The water was brutally cold at this point in the day, but I needed to give this pool a good go and make sure that it wasn't hiding the next big deposit. After opening up a good sized crevice in the base of the river, I did come across a few small pieces. The ground here looked really good and I did continue finding more, but the frequency was not the same. Okay, well I did what I could in this pool here. There was quite a few flakes scattered about in the deeper water, but yeah, nothing real nuggety. And my day's coming to an end, so I'm going to pack it up. It was awesome to finally get the crevice work to completion, and although the second half wasn't quite as rich as the first, we still found some amazing gold. These are the larger pieces in the hand for some scale. This was the largest piece, which in the film I guessed about 3 to 4 grams, but looking at it now more closely, there is quite a bit of ironstone included, so I think it's going to come in a bit lighter. We got some strange shaped pieces from this trip. This one reminded me of the alien from the Alien films.
The ship will detonate in T-minus.
Now we'll weigh in some of the nuggets, starting at 0.38, 0.42, 0.44. There was quite a few half-gram pieces. .66, 0.68, and then that strange little piece that came in at 1.7, and finally for our biggest piece, right on the 2 gram mark. And when we combine the whole lot together, we come up with a grand total of 15.16, just shy of the half ounce. I hope you've enjoyed today's film. If you could like, share and leave a comment, it'd be much appreciated. Thanks again, and we'll see you all on the next one.